welcome to the Modern Skein podcast. My name is Sharon Graff, and I'm the owner of the Modern Skein, which is a yarn shop here in Montgomery, Texas.
And I'm Becky, store manager at the Modern Skein.
Welcome to the podcast. This is episode 92, if I am counting correctly. I know we're getting so close to 100. And this month, it is December already. It's December 2nd. Can you believe it? Oh. 23 days till Christmas.
You keep sharing these countdowns and it brings so much stress every time.
Oh, yeah. So anyway, a lot of video bloggers, vloggers, YouTubers, the knitting crafty world do some sort of Vlogmas. And Vlogmas to me is very overwhelming because typically that means you have to film every single day. And that's just not going to happen. No.
Yeah.
So we're doing our own version of Vlogmas / Advent Vlogmas, if you will. So we are doing a podcast every week instead of every other week for the month of December. So just giving you a little bit more content. You probably won't see any more finished objects from us. It doesn't mean we're going to be knitting faster, but we'll see. We do have some finished objects to share, actually.
Yep.
So it's going to be really, really fun. So first off, we always talk about finished objects. And we have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then this blanket behind you. We have 6 to share.
Theoretically.
Oh.
I've got 3.
3. Okay, so we have 7.
I mean, technically 3, but this is old. So.
Yeah, but you never were able to show it because it was a secret test net.
Yes.
A really secret test net.
And we got this. Yeah, the blanket.
Let's start with the blanket because it's kind of the wowzers.
Yes.
So we have, let me hold this side. We have an amazing customer, Diane. If you watch, I don't know if you watch the podcast, but Diane, if you're watching, thank you so much. She is one of our local sit-in stitchers, and she very graciously knit the shop this amazing Stephen West Fantastitch, Fantastitch blanket. So I have it folded in half just so you can see it in all of its glory. But this is a fully round blanket, so don't let that fool you. This is amazing. I mean, it's huge. It's like 49 inches across, I think. And it's all done. It's DK weight. Yep. It's done in Red Stag fiber, Chelsea Luxe, and this multicolor one here is Farmer's Daughter fiber. So you have Antique Linen from Red Stag Fiber, the Sam Elliott from Farmer's Daughter. You have Scottish Sunset from Red Stag. The red here is Candied Apple from Chelsea Luxe. The yellow here is 24 karat gold from Chelsea Luxe. The black is Walsh Slate, Red Stag Fiber. What am I missing? Oh, and then this is Stonegate from Red. Oh, you can't even see. Sorry. This Stonegate. I don't know if I just looked up. I don't know that I was pointing and seeing anything. This is 24 karat gold. The red is the Candied Apple. So hopefully you got all that. But this is just an amazing textural, awesome blanket. So thank you so much, Diane. This is draped over the comfy couch. Yes. And yes, it's so wonderful. Good. It is. So it's nice on a particularly cold and rainy and snuggly day. You can wrap oneself up and knit on the couch.
Yep.
Super fun. She finished it off with a little bit different. She did just an I-cord border. I think the border in the pattern is slightly different, but this is really, really nice, and we love it. I'll put this over here. I have a little more room. Okay, why don't you share one of your finished objects?
Okay. So, just tuck all the ends back in there. Because while it is finished, it is still full of ends because it's stripes. But
that's the bad thing about stripes.
It really is. Most of them are weave and Stevened, so I do just need to cut them. But they're still in there. It's fine. Nobody's gonna know. Yeah, this is my bits and bobs sock from her Instagram is Shopknittingnellie. Actual name is Morgan. I can't think of her last name. Yikes. Morgan Rougeau. I think I'm pronouncing that horribly wrong. I apologize, but it's intended to be either like done with the Advent or a bunch of minis and scraps, and I used my minis and scraps from my stash. So just a fun, very repetitive but cute little color work chart.
I like the addition of color work because so many times you just get stripes.
Yeah.
For an Advent, or it's all over color work. This is a nice little mix, I guess.
Yeah, and it's pretty straightforward because I think it was just like you have several resting rows and then you get into like 4 or 5 rows of color work and then that's it, and you have more rest rows. So that's nice. Very rhythmic, and it's not, you get a lot of rest rows. And it's done with an afterthought heel, so you really just get to go in a tube round and round and round.
Something fell over.
Yep, the cat just knocked something over.
It's fine.
You're probably hearing the jingling of the bell. That is our bonus host. I think
Surprise!
I said bonus. I don't know what the word bonus is. Bonus host.
Yes. For those of you that don't know, if you're not local, we did take in this very sad, starving little baby.
Yeah.
And she's so cute.
Yeah.
Her name is Surrey.
Mm-hmm.
She's so cute. So, yeah, she makes a little racket now and then. But then usually just sleeps on her little crocheted blanket.
Yeah.
It's so cute. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, my finished object. I'll start with my smallest finished object because I whipped this out in 2 hours flat. That's with checking out and helping people.
Yep. She timed herself.
I did time myself. So I knit a Christmas ball from the Arne and Carlos Christmas book right there. Doo-doo-doo-doo. I'm hunching very oddly, but yes. So this is done out of Red Stag Fiber, Croft DK, and Antique Linen, Jewel of the King, and Great Hall. So great Christmas colors. I did not stuff mine with polyfill. If I were to do another one, I would. I just used yarn scraps, and I feel like it made it a little heavier and not as voluminous. Also, although this definitely came out a lot larger than I expected. And I even went down in needle size. So, just, like, I guess in the pictures, I thought it was like a small little ball this big. And it's massive. We have a very small tree here in the shop, and it looks comically large.
It does. It really does.
But there's also a weird bald spot on the tree, and this fills in the bald spot perfectly, so It works. So this is just a fun, like I said, 2-hour knit. I feel like if I hadn't been in the shop, if I had been home and watching some TV, this probably could have been an hour and a half knit for me. So, Christmas balls, they're fun. I did knit mine on DPNs. I'm just going to say it. I don't like magic loop, personally. I will do it if I have to, but if I have the choice, it's not my favorite, especially for color work. I feel like I tighten up in that, and just when I get in my groove, I gotta let everything go and pull the needle and push. It's my own problems, I know, but that's what I feel like. So I did DPNs. I don't have a problem. DPNs to me are not fiddly. I mean, they are, but it doesn't bother me. So you can do it on DPNs. You can do it on 2 circulars. You could do it. I mean, you could, once you get into a few rows of it, you could do like 9-inch circs or 12-inch circs, but you won't be able to do that to start it. So
yeah, I think it'd be a weird. You'd have to like
halfway through,
like go like start it with magic loop, go into 9-inch circs and then go back to 9-inch circs.
Just pick one and stick with it because, it's not that big. In the book, FYI, everything is charted. There's written out instructions for the basic design of the plain ball. So if you just wanted to knit a plain one, all just one color, and then embroider the different patterns on, you can. But I just followed the color work chart. And this one was also extra fiddly because it was 3 color ferrule, so you're working 3 colors in one. Yeah, so I picked probably the hardest ball there was in the book to do. Just fair warning. But I also feel like it's one of the prettiest. I really like it. So, anywho, that's my Christmas ball. I'm not knitting a whole bunch. I just knit one. The end. The end. You won't find me knitting a whole bunch of ornaments for a tree. I'll knit one here and there, but I'm not going to knit a whole tree's worth. I'm a sweater knitter. I'm a garment knitter. That's what I prefer. It's true. So what else do you have? Before I just ramble on about Christmas knitting balls.
So these are still wet and walking, which is why they're in a plastic bag. And I'm going to borrow one of the mats from over there and lay them out for the rest of the day.
Woohoo! But they look so good.
I love them. These are my finished Curio Socks. Past couple years, I have attempted to try and finish the, oh good, dog hair. It's just a part of my life. Yep, there's another one. Killing it. I've attempted to try and do the spring and the fall Andrea Mowry kind of knitting challenges. And once again, with the sock weekend, I did not complete it during the set time. I had these both done by Tuesday. So it took me
close.
I was real close. And try as I might, I walked around Renfest on Sunday with a couple of friends just knitting along. I guess that's really kind of time period appropriate if you think about it, but
yeah.
Anyway, they are done and I love them. I will probably knit this pattern again because it's just real easy, and yeah, it was good enough. It was mindless enough that I could walk around and knit on it. And I like most of it. I think there's a few things I would amend just for my own fit. The little afterthought heels are very little, so they don't fit my heel very well.
They look small.
Here's your comparison
to what I would consider as more of a normal afterthought heel, and that looks almost like a baby, child's size.
Yeah, I think honestly, if I had added just an extra row or two, it would have been fine, or 3 or 4. But yeah, I did this one out of just old stash Malabrigo and then not old stash. the variegated is Big Ben colorway from Explorer Knits. So nice and subtle and variegated. This also has a whole bunch of ends in there.
Yay!
And that's where they're gonna stay.
So then my next finished object, we'll show the yarn here at the end as well, because this is a new yarn to the shop, and that's why I cast this on while I was on a little vacation the other day. But this is the Summit Cowl. Totally blanking on who that's by, but it'll be in the notes down at the bottom. But this is a free pattern with purchase from Shibui. This is their new yarn, Billow. Look at that, you guys. So Billow is a really cool blend of cotton, alpaca, and merino, and it's almost like more of a blown yarn, and it's like a DK weight. So it's a thicker, if you're used to a melted baby surrey or a lace weight surrey, it's a bit thicker, but it's so soft. And with the cotton, it's light and drapey. I just love it. So,
and we do have it. It's by Debbie. I was like, I wrote it down on a tag somewhere. Tag's here.
Yay.
Debbie Stone and Marcy Vandale.
So the nice thing about this fit is it's a little bit tighter up at the neck and wider down at the bottom. So, and because Billow, it's knit on a larger needle, it's knit on a 9. It just fits. It sits really nicely. So you can see it's not all, like sometimes cowls are all, up here. And this just sits really nicely. In fact, I can never find the end here. You can almost treat it slightly cape-like because of the stretch and pull it down over your shoulders a touch. If you have really wide shoulders, it's not going to work. But I feel like fairly normal shoulders. So, yeah. See? So you can do it all in one color. If you do one color, I believe you really only need 2 skeins of the Billow. If you do it in the color blocked versions, obviously you need 3 colors. If you do it like the pattern was originally written and do it in Silk Cloud or Tweed Silk Cloud, you will need 2 skeins of your bottom color and then a skein each of the top 2, because you do hold Silk Cloud double to account for it being a lace weight. You could easily, if you have an aversion to Shibui yarn for whatever reason, you could easily swap it out for Ching Melted Baby Suri. We are low on that, but I finally got word that they have it back in stock for wholesale, so we're working on getting another shipment of Melted Baby Suri in. I know, it's so exciting. And then also we have the Alpaca Blue. I can never
The Alpaca Blue.
Alpaca Blue. Alpaca Boucle from Hedgehog, or of course the Red Stag Fiber Castle Surrey would all be great options. And frankly, if you just like the idea of this cowl and the larger needle, but don't want to do a fuzzy yarn, I would swap this out for either a sport weight or a heavier fingering weight and just let it have a nice, really loose gauge.
Yeah.
It would be really pretty. Like you could even kind of do something fun. You could use the like the bubble yarn or the cobblestone yarn from Suburban Stitcher, Moondrake, Chelsea Luxe. You could use Savvy Skeins. You could do a fade. You could do color. I mean, there's the options are unlimited. And this is a really fun, mindless, because like you knit so many rows and then you have a decrease round. You knit so many rows, you have a decrease round. You knit so many, decrease. So it's a really great mindless, like I said, I took this as travel knitting, got it done in just a few days. So great project. The colorways that I used were Off-White, Pollen, and Abyss. We're currently out of Abyss and we are waiting on our restock of Abyss, but we do have the other 2 colors, and we have Tar and Graphite and some of the other dark colors you can easily swap it out with. But we'll show all the colors at the end. What else do you have for a fine finished object?
So I pulled one secret test knit out of the hiding until release date pile, and this one I've given quick little snippets of already. But this sweater is done.
Yay!
It's not out yet, but
We can't see the whole thing.
I can't show off the whole thing, but I can just kind of boop. And I'm using my scrap yarn already.
Ooh. So this is an unnamed sweater from Hohi.
Yep.
We don't have a release date.
Not yet.
But it's fingering weight yarn.
Fingering weight yarn. I ended up doing it with just 3 skeins for
That's nice. And you did like bracelet length sleeves?
Mm-hmm.
That's not bad.
No, not at all. So I was very pleasantly surprised. I shortened it up a little bit.
Okay.
Sleeves and body. But I still feel like it. Have a frog in my mouth. In my throat. Man, I'm just having a day with the words. But otherwise, it's 2 pattern. So
Awesome. So hopefully that gets released before the end of the year anyway, and we can show it
yes,
fully in all of its glory. Yes. Do you remember what color you used from Life in the Long Grass?
This is the colorway Weathered.
Oh yeah, Weathered.
Which I think we are out of currently, but
probably. It's such a good color.
It's so nice. It's subtle and beigey, but the speckles make it so much fun to knit with. So it's just these like bright, like pops of fuchsia in there. I think there's even some like darker blue flecks too.
There's really a nice amount of speckles in there, but it reads as a neutral.
Yeah.
Okay, and then last but not least, I have a finished sweater, but I'm not wearing it because it's not very cold out.
Yeah.
I finished my Magnolia Bloom. Ta-da!
It's so good.
So if you want to see it on me, go to our Instagram and look at our reels and the sweater weather reel. I am wearing my Magnolia Bloom. So this is a gorgeous pattern by Camilla. I basically did everything to pattern excluding the sleeves. I shortened my sleeve, and in the pattern you just knit it straight down and then you do a rapid decrease and then do ribbing. I just knit straight down, went straight into like an inch worth of ribbing and bound off. So mine hit just below the elbow, and I really like how it fits. I love this yarn, and it was such a quick knit. So if you guys know about the ranunculus sweater, the ranunculus sweater is one of those great one skein fingering weight, fits most people, easy sweater.
Yeah.
It's also a very quick sweater. It's usually about 10 to 12 hours worth of knitting time total. Whether you're a fast knitter or slow knitter, it really doesn't matter that much. That's just about the total knitting time. This, I feel like, is the new ranunculus because it's on, a 10.75, 10.5 millimeter needle, or not millimeter, US, 10.75. Yeah. Anyway, we do have 10.75 in interchangeables. It's not a common US size, but we do have it. A strand of DK and a strand of Surrey is what I did. The pattern calls for 2 strands of lace weight mohair and 2 strands of fingering. That's 4. That's a lot to manage.
Yeah.
So just do Surrey and DK. You could also use the new Billow with the strand of DK. That would be amazing. But I use the colorway Castle Rock for my main color, or for my DK, and then Sharon's palette for Surrey, which is a really soft blendy bit of taupe and gray and navy, and it just is so pretty. The lace is very easy. The baubles are the best baubles I've ever done in the world, and I hate baubles. So yeah, love the neckline. I love a good fold over neck. I do. That's my preferred neck. It's a pain because you got to knit it double the length, but the result is always so good.
Yeah.
I love it. It's so soft. It's like bunnies' butts or something. It's just so soft. I love it.
So lovely.
I can't stop hugging it. It's so good. So that is my finished sweater. Whee! So anyway, I think I was saying how little time it takes. So it's on big needles. It really does go quickly. I'm pretty sure this was knit in, what did I say, 6 days? 7 days? 6, 5?
Yeah, it was quick.
It was a week or less. I think it was 6 days is what I figured it out. Super quick. And that's with knitting this, finishing my Douglas Cardi, and working on my whips that I'm going to show in just a second. Yeah. So since you're working on an active whip in your hand right now, why don't you share what that is?
So this isn't really very exciting, but I am using the remaining brown I have from my Curio Socks, and then also my remaining I have another ball, not just this one, so don't panic. There's more.
Like, what?
I'm going to make a kind of scrappy-ish pair of socks, and probably gift them for the holidays, because as much as I planned on knitting things early for Christmas, did I do it? No. I just kept knitting test knits and all those things that were fun and shiny and bright and new. And here I am, frantically knitting Christmas gifts. So
Yeah. Speaking of bright and shiny new, I did say, and I technically cast these on in November because this was Tuesday.
Yes.
So I did not break my promise. So I have thrown the gauntlet, if you will, announced that I am going to do my best to not cast on anything new in the month of December, or at least until Christmas. We will see how long that lasts, and there are no guarantees because, of course, now I am itching to cast on everything. But this was cast on the last day of November, so it doesn't count. And no, I have not been kidnapped. I am okay. I have gotten more messages about these socks. Yes, I'm knitting a pair of socks. And yes, I am okay. If you have no idea why people would be concerned that I'm knitting a pair of socks, it's because I normally never knit socks. I have knit socks. I am willing to knit my husband a pair of socks, usually about once a year. And this is it. And no, he will not wear these. This is a sample for him. But this is the Holly Jolly sock by this Handmade Life. They're adorable. They're super fun. I personally have had a little bit of tensioning issues just because of color work and trying to figure out the needle. I was doing it on Magic Loop. Hated every second of it. I switched to the 9-inch Circs yesterday, and I think I finally found my groove of proper tension. I got a little too tight, and these aren't really going to have to, since they're a sample for Josh, they don't really have to fit on a foot. They just need to fit on a blocker. So I'm literally dragging the yarn into my coffee.
Oh no.
Fine.
Don't waste good coffee.
No. So yeah, this is the Holly Jolly sock. The colors I'm using are, of course, Red Stag Fiber. I'm using the Chateau sock, so it's a very soft and luxurious sock. This is Jewel of the King, Antique Linen, and Great Hall. Classic Christmas colors. This is a fully charted design. Super easy. I mean, really. This part is kind of self-explanatory. Definitely on camera, you can see these like 2 rows got tighter. You can really see that on
there's
camera.
There's a distinct crease.
Like, you don't see it in person, in real life, nearly as much as you see it in camera. It's kind of weird.
I feel like if you were to, like, steam that, though, ever so gently, like, that's going to, like, and give it a little tug, I think it'll help right itself.
But, ta-da!
So good.
Yes, so the heel will be green, and the toe will be green, and then the rest is pretty much this fun candy cane stripe. So good. This is just, 2 days worth of knitting, so not bad. Yeah. Especially for a person who hates to knit socks.
I love the, I don't remember what it was called in the pattern, because she had a name for it, but like the lattice.
Oh, she calls this garland stitch.
Okay, that's what it was.
Or garland design or whatever.
Yeah, I almost have wanted to do like just
that.
And then even go straight into like a solid the rest of the way.
I actually was debating about that because I did really love this pattern.
And that feels, I mean, yes, it reads holiday with those colors, but I feel like you could easily swap that out for any colors.
Absolutely.
I mean, take the green and make it a brown, and it feels like a garden, like, trellis with roses. Like,
yep.
That would be cute.
That would be super cute.
Love it. Love it.
So, yes, that's that cast on. Everything else is a regular whip that I'm working on. Let me show you this.
I'm obsessed with this.
This is looking so good. This is my Baltian. Baltian, whatever.
However it is said.
You guys. So it's a batwing style. So this is my little cuff bit that's going to be for the sleeve. And so we're decreasing. This is hard to show. But we're decreasing down. And I have, I think, 10 more decrease rows. And then I think we do a wide, like 5-6 inches of ribbing, I think. There may be just some plain rounds and then ribbing. There's hair all in this.
Can you tell we have pets?
Yeah. We have all the pets, and my cat is thinking he is Christmas decorator extraordinaire, will not let anyone except himself get on the ladder.
I saw a photo. It was real cute.
Oh, and this morning he knocked down the ladder because it was folded up and leaning against the wall, and he thought he needed to get on the ladder anyway.
Yeah. Got to survey the land from up high.
So, colors are Bordeaux and the Chateau Sock. I am just having a moment with Chateau Sock right now.
I mean, that's fair.
It's so soft, you guys. If you have not tried Chateau Sock from Red Stag, you'll be in love. It's buttery soft. It's amazing for garments, for socks, for anything. It has just enough of the nylon in there to keep it from pilling like traditional cashmere. It's just so soft too. And then my contrast color is the Riad base. So it's a 50-50 camel and silk in the antique linen. And it gives it that warm golden color. This is going to be a super fun holiday sweater. Really is. I'm loving it. So
good.
yes, progress is being made. I am hoping to finish this before actually our family holiday party, which is the 18th. Oh. That would be, I think that's totally doable.
And because this does it have full length sleeves on it? Or is it
it's
just
like
kind of
a
a cuff?
4-inch cuff, I think, is all it is.
Okay, yeah.
Let's put it this way, that's probably all I'm doing, regardless of what it says. But
pattern modification.
Yes. I love a good pattern mod.
Yeah.
But yes, it's so fun. And like I envision this, I'm popping all the stitches off. Like I envision this. Yes, I am that person who would totally go and buy gold sequin pants to wear with this. Because why not? It would be fun.
Live your best life. Do it.
I think it would just look so cool with gold sequin pants. I could have easily lived during the 70s disco era. Yeah. Because give me sequins, gold lame.
I feel like some like really dramatic like high waist, like I can't think of what the name is, but like the really wide leg.
Ooh, yes,
pants.
Like a Palazzo pant.
Thank you, that's the word I wanted. Words are hard today.
Yeah.
But like that on top would be.
I also have, and depending on how the waist comes in, I'm gonna have to look at it. I have a pair of like a winter white satin paper bag pant. That would look really cute. Kind of tuck it in.
Uh-huh.
Holiday party wear.
Yep.
I still want to do a video one day. I'm digressing, I realize this. But I still want to do a video one day of like dressing up your hand knits. Because I feel like a lot of people just are like, well, I knit this thing. I don't know what to wear it with or how to wear it besides just putting it on with jeans or whatever. Which is great. You can wear your knitwear with jeans. But you can also really snazz it up and wear it with formal wear. You can wear them super cash, all sorts of things. One day, that video will be coming. One day. What else? Do you have anything else you're working on?
I don't. I'm trying to just crank out the holiday gift knits. Yeah. I did pick up on Tuesday, and then a little bit in the evenings. I've been working on my short row wings of my shawlography.
Yay!
Which I don't have with me, but I feel like at this point, most of y'all have probably seen what I'm talking about, so whether it's mine or somebody else's.
Go back an episode or two.
Yeah. So I have not made great progress, but I am on the short rows now. So
the only other thing that I've made any progress on, and it's reverse progress technically. So I showed you guys my La Express a couple weeks ago, and you may be like, that's smaller than what it was. It is. So I had noticed that I was still X amount of rows from separating for sleeves, but I was already at the length, and I hadn't done enough increases. So I went back and remeasured my gauge, or I should say measured for the first time. And while my stitch count was within like one, I don't remember the exact. Let's just say it's supposed to be 21 stitches for 4 inches. I'm at like 22 or 20, one of those two. So I'm only one off there, so that's fine. Because this size, like I'm knitting the smallest size, but it's still going to give me a lot of positive ease anyway. But my row gauge, so your row gauge on this one, I believe, is supposed to be 38 rows per 4 inches. I'm sitting at like 27. I'm like 11 rows different, which that makes a big difference, obviously. That means for every, basically, what they're thinking is 4 inches, I'm sitting at like 5.5 inches. So what I have to do to tweak the pattern, because I still want to knit this same pattern, is so it has my increase row, knit so many rows, increase row, knit so many rows, increase row, knit so many rows. I'm just going to go in there and with some math and take out, excuse me, suddenly I'm yawning. I'm tired. Math.
Just took it right out of you.
I'm going to take out probably of the last 2 increase sections. I'm probably going to take out about 6 to 8 rows out of each of those sections. So almost cutting them in half. And that should get me to the right armhole drop for me and going with the pattern. And then once I'm past the separating for sleeves, then my row gauge really doesn't matter as much, because then it's just I'm knitting to the length that I want. So I went ahead the other day and just ripped out back where I needed to. And so now I just need to go ahead and do the next increase round and then knit a shorter amount and do the next one. And then I should be ready to separate for sleeves. And now I have the hiccups, so apparently I'm just all over the place. But other than that, I'm still loving it. I still love working with the yarn. I still love the pattern. Just be mindful that row gauge matters, especially when you're doing top-down or bottom-up sweaters. Now, is it as critical a lot of times? No, not like stitch gauge. But when you're that far off, it matters. You know, if I was only 1 or 2 off, it would not be a big deal. I could knit it to pattern just fine. But being 10, 11 rows off, that's when you run into trouble.
Yes.
But it's fixable. Now, yes, I could try and change yarns, but I want this yarn and I want this fabric, so I'm not going to. So I'm going to make it work. Ta-da! Apparently, math is making me very sleepy.
It is also kind of just that weather.
It is. We've had like 3 days now of fog.
Yeah. I don't know if it was the same for you, but today's fog was the thickest by the time I was still like driving in. Like it did not burn off.
Mm-mm.
I don't think it still has fully burned off out there.
No.
So.
Like I can't see the community building out there, so it's pretty thick.
Yeah.
It's kind of nuts. No, the other day I'm driving, it's like 4 something in the morning, you know, I'm driving to CrossFit, and I'm like, I can't see the road. The guy in front of me is weaving into the ditch. We had like 500 meter visibility. It was nuts. I'm like, do we live on the coast? No, we don't. We're 100 miles inland. But you would have thought we were right next to the water. It was so, and it really has been for the past 3 days.
Yep.
And we've had weird weather.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is now a weather podcast. We're having lows in the 40s.
So good.
Which is amazing. And then somehow by 2 o'clock in the afternoon, it's 85.
Yep.
So It's like, what do I wear? I don't know. Layers.
Yes, layers. I was going to say, you wear a tank top and then put a sweater on and then take the sweater off.
And that's why in Texas you see people walking around with shorts and a long sleeve shirt or sweater.
Yep.
Because you have to be.
Is it a weird conundrum? Yes. Do I usually wear that?
Yes. Yesterday, that's pretty much what I wore all day. I was off yesterday and had to do all the adult things. But yes, I wore a jacket, a long sleeve shirt, and shorts, and flip-flops. Yeah. Anywho.
Yep.
I don't really have any. I mean, because I haven't knit on anything else. So I haven't knit on my pressed flowers. I haven't knit on my Seriously Holy brioche, which really needs some love. But you know, if I can't cast anything else on till Christmas, this is some good incentive. And I think I know what I'm gonna cast on for Christmas with that new yarn. We still don't know if we can get it in the shop yet. Hopefully, though, we can. I don't know why I'm whispering. Oh, we need to show Billow.
We do. We do.
I will grab the Billow.
Okay. There was a moment there where she thought about throwing it and then looked at the cup of coffee and then didn't.
It's true. It's true. Okay. Ta-da! So there are a couple colors that are back ordered. The Abyss, which is the dark black.
Yep. There's Caper.
Caper. I was like, it's the green one.
Yep.
Caper, which is like an olivey green.
It's like the color of this.
Yeah, it's very similar to this, actually, like that olivey, goldy mustard green.
So
and then
good.
there's, and we have bonish.
Is it tar? No, that's
This
tar.
is tar. It must be graphite that we're.
Yeah, it's another one of the
another
grays.
gray. I think it's the medium gray.
Cut it.
So let's start. This is tar. So this is like a darker, kind of a charcoal gray.
Yeah.
Really pretty. There's another color too that's quite similar, but it's not. This one is called Noir. And this is definitely a blue undertone. So this is like a deep navy gray, and this is just a gray. So if you're like, I can't tell the difference. Blue, gray, gray.
Then we'll go for another two that look very similar.
It's true.
We've got Bone and Ash.
So the main difference there is this one is touch warmer ivory taupey, and this is definitely a cool gray.
Yeah. Oh, I'm losing them.
Yarn down.
So, yeah.
But those are, I love Bone. Bone is just a great color. And Ash is a great color too for a neutral.
Yeah.
For a not a neutral, this is Paprika, which is a really fun, I mean, it is very much the color of paprika. That orangey red.
That's
really pretty.
And then its kind of counterpart that looks similar,
But not.
is Syrah.
Yes.
Which is nice, more kind of like a blue undertone, kind of a red, kind of a berry.
Berry,
almost.
cherry,
Yes.
kind of a red. Really pretty. And of course, you'll notice they all have kind of this white cotton core, which is really fun. This is Velvet. This is that rich purple. Love that color.
Pollen, which was in the Summit cowl that Sharon showed.
Yes. This is Suit. So just a nice blue. Not as dark as Noir.
Nope. And a little bit darker than Deep Water.
Yeah. So Deep Water almost has a touch of teal, but not really. But yeah.
It's really nice. And then lastly is the Ivory.
Ivory, not off-white. I said off-white, but it's ivory.
Yep. Which is the other color from the cowl.
Yep.
Yeah.
So those are all the colors of Billow. Like I said, minus the 3 that we're missing on our order. Hopefully those will be in the next week or 2. So fingers crossed they come in. Otherwise, we have a pretty good selection of Billow. We are getting low in a couple of the colors. I know Syrah we're getting low in, and I think Ash. But there are some really fun patterns. Maybe you don't like the Summit Cowl. There's a beautiful poncho designed in the Billow, holding also a strand of lace weight. You can use Lunar. You can use the West Yorkshire Spinners Exquisite Lace. Either one of those with it. Beautiful poncho. I will write the name of the poncho that I can't remember. It's like Iscara, it's ISCHA something or other. It will be in the show notes, so just scroll down and see that. There's also the, what did I call it? Or I didn't call it.
You were looking at the Saga?
Saga. Yep, that's it. SAGA, Saga Sweater. Again, that one was originally designed in a lace weight and a fingering, but then there are quite a few people that have just used billows with one strand to knit the Saga sweater. Real classic shape on that. It's really, really gorgeous. But again, if for whatever reason you did not want to use billow, easily, the pattern I believe was written with a strand of Pebble from Shibui and a strand of Tweed Silk Cloud. We have plenty of Tweed Silk Cloud. You could strand it with Lunar or the Exquisite Lace for a nice lace weight. I think I have Pebble in a few colors as well, so always an option.
Yeah.
But other than that, thanks for tuning in to our bonus podcast. Because we technically podcasted last week, but again, we're going to be doing this every week for the month of December. I can't believe it's already December. This year has flown by. It's about to be 2022. Who could have thunk it? Hi.
Yep.
Crazy.
Not ready.
Nope. But it's going to be here whether we're ready or not.
Exactly.
So hopefully you're having an amazing holiday season, whether you're celebrating Christmas, Hanukkah, or any of the other traditional holidays throughout this month. We wish you very happy holidays, and hopefully you will tune in to the rest of the podcasts for this month, and we can't wait to see what you're knitting. So maybe if you've made it this far, all 47 minutes and 10 seconds, why don't you mention in the comments what you're knitting on, or if you have any goals, maybe you're knitting on an Advent, what you're knitting on. We'd love to know and chat with you guys. But other than that, hopefully if you're local, we'll see you in the shop. This Saturday is Cookie Fest, Cookie Exchange, whatever we're calling it.
I like Cookie Fest.
Cookie
that
Fest
sounds
great. I mean, sounds amazing. Diet be gone.
Tis the season.
It is. But hopefully we'll see you in the shop soon or see you online. Happy crafting and happy holidays. Bye.